Is this resolving? Is this resolving? Is this resolving? Oh, my opponent is thinking here. Come on, opponent. Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. This is MahfuzVanGogh, your Dredge guy, and today we are back to our saga. We are trying to hit the best 4-color Dredge deck in Modern. And this is my last attempt here to build a competitive Dredge deck in Modern with 4 colors, this time without Altanak. And why is that? Because I am a fan. I think Altanak is a solid inclusion in any Dredge deck with green as one of your main colors. But after a couple of leagues here that you probably watched here on this channel, if you didn't, you should. Here I will leave a link to all the series so you can watch all of our videos in a row. But Altanak sometimes feels like a win more card. Sometimes it is amazing and you have a turn 2 Altanak, but sometimes you mill everything in your deck and you never find your Altanak on time. And just trying to create a deck without that much variance, I think we will change Altanak and say its name package for 4 copies of Thrice-Called, so you can have an extra speed on turn 1, and now we can include Wonder in our main deck. And that's the main change between the older versions already featured here on this channel and this one. The sideboard, we'll try the same sideboard that we tried last time, because last time we didn't have that many variety, right? We didn't need Picker Poison, and even Mage Bane Lizard, those cards still needed to be tested. So let's keep with our sideboard. I will do no changes here. That's pretty much it. Click the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below if you're excited to conclude this saga with me. Let's do a great league together. Let's do it right now. Renting cards is the best way to play online, and you can start your journey, like me, on Mana Traders. Just use this coupon code that you can see here on this page to have an exclusive discount on your first 2 months. Now let's go back to the games. Round 1, we are paired against a Vador with a Jegantha deck. Okay. Oh, this is weird. I will not keep a hand solely on this card. Thrice-Called is good, but we have not a great combination of lands and spells. Let's mulligan this. Okay, this is so much better. We keep this with eyes closed. Against a Jegantha deck, I don't think having Savali Coliseum, we probably don't need 2 Cathartic Reunions, so let's discard one of them. My opponent starts with a basic mountain. Is this Ragavan? Yeah, it is the monkey, the legendary monkey Pyre. We have a second Cathartic Reunion anyways. It's good, it's a good card. Let's start by grabbing our red mana for next turn. Yes, I would like to pay 2 life. And let's cast Thrice-Called, targeting ourselves. Okay, we have Loam as our only Dredger, but it's better than none. And now we pass the turn. My opponent's monkey will unfortunately hit us and steal something. Just a Savali Coliseum, it's okay. So my opponent only gain a treasure token. Now they play Aridimisa and crack it for a Temple Garden. So this is Naya energy. Or maybe, yeah, Naya energy, okay. I was going to say, or maybe Naya Zoo. But it's a Zoo energy deck, maybe? Okay, now we will Dredge with Loam. 2 Dredgers, perfect. So Creeping Chill hits. And now I should choose here between double red and green. This is our first moment of truth in this league. Since we have 2 Cathartic Reunion, my opponent doesn't play counter spells. I think we'll probably don't need Loam to win this game anymore. So I'll grab my second Steam Vents. And playing this deck with 4 colors, it's important to feel the moment that you try to hit green or red or whatever you need. I'll discard the Loam and gaze here. Let's keep our second Cathartic Reunion. We'll Dredge 5 and Dredge 5 again. Another Creeping Chill, Wonder is good. Nakomoeba, Golgari Thug, we are hitting what we need. Had a prize amalgam there, just 1, but my opponent has only a monkey and we have 2 Narcomoebas to block my opponent's creature. Everything enters the battlefield. Life is beautiful. We pass the turn. This is turn 2. It seems like we already did a lot. Let's pass back. My opponent now draws Wooded Foothills, cracks it for a tapped Xander's Lounge. And Scion of Draco. Yeah, so this is a Zoo with Flage, a domain Zoo deck. I think we should win here, right? With the right combination of cards, we can even win this turn. How many chills? No, we only have 1 chill, so we cannot win. But we can put some raining creatures on the battlefield. Now that we have Ox of Agonas, it is even better than Cathartic Reunion. So let's place a Savali Coliseum here, and I will cast Ox. We can exile some fetch lands, some sorceries, and some lands instants as well, no problem. Ox enters the battlefield, and we'll Dredge 5. 5 again. Have Conflagrate there, and 5 again, why not? Okay, we have a Bloodghast there. Unfortunately, this Bloodghast will not enter the battlefield because we didn't prioritize green, but I still think that's okay because now we have Conflagrate. My opponent blocks Prize Amalgam and takes 5 damage, going down to 2. And since you have Wonder, who is the aggro deck now? My opponent plays a second Sign of Draco. This is not good enough. And now we don't have chills anymore. Let's just have a natural draw here. Maybe we hit a land. No, Sync with Imp, but that is still fine. Let's try to hit our opponent with a Lethal Conflagrate and also Ragavan since it's a blocker. And I'll pay 2 red mana. My opponent needs a counterspell here. They do have? They do have Stubborn Denial. Okay, but we'll still attack with 4 flying creatures. My opponent has only 2 flying creatures, so that's okay. And we won. So against my opponent's deck, when building this version, I prioritized other things than bounce spells. But I think Pick or Poison is still solid against Scion of Draco and Leyline. Lightning Axe is also solid. A second Ox is also solid. I don't think we need 2 Conflagrates if I'm including 3 Lightning Axe. My opponent's creatures are bigger than creatures in energy decks. Let's see if we can include 8 cards. So we can take 1 Bloodghast here. Let's compare here side by side. 1 Bloodghast and 1 Thug and 1 Scour. I'm taking those 3 cards to include 3 removal spells. Now to include 4 copies of Pick or Poison. Maybe I take 1 Gaze. I think considering that I want to include that many cards, I will just exchange 1 Conflagrate for 1 Ox. Because Conflagrate targets creatures, and if my opponent has Leyline in play, their Sign of Dracos will have hexproof. So Conflagrate is not that great. And what we really want to resolve here is Pick or Poison targeting my opponent. I'm sorry, it doesn't target, but you know what I mean. So I'm taking 1 Otherworldly Gaze. I need to take 3 more cards from my hand. Is Wonder that good against this deck? Is good, but considering my options here and that I want to take more cards, I'm not sure what I want. Creeping Shield, okay. Maybe I don't keep Bloodghast at all against this opponent. Yeah, it's my first time with Pick or Poison, and I think this is stronger than dismissal effects that we had in the past. So yeah, this has no lands, so we will mulligan. Maybe I'm just over sideboarding, but being on the draw against this deck after sideboarding is so easier to lose, especially if they start with Leyline of the Guild Pact and a Scion of Draco on turn 2. So my opponent kept 7 cards. This is of course a mulligan. Okay, we have a turn 1, a turn 2, and an answer to something that my opponent has. So we keep, Narcomoeba can go back to our deck. And my opponent starts with a Blood Crypt, untapped. Is this Ragavan? Yeah, it is. And no Leyline, so that's good. Steam Vents. Before meaning, I think it's important to have green, right? So since we already have both Steam Vents in our hand. So let's guarantee our Breeding Pool here before we mill it by accident. And I will cast Tomb Scour targeting yours truly. Okay, Narcomoeba is here. We have Otherworldly Gaze, but unfortunately no Dredgers, and now my opponent knows about Pick or Poison. We pass back, my opponent needs to deal with Narcomoeba if they want to attack with Ragavan. Oh, and they have a removal spell. A boat is ready to kill my illusion. Ragavan hits, exiling Cephalic Coliseum again, okay, no problem. We draw. Age Maze is not exactly what we want here. This is probably just a Life from the Loam, right? So I'll play Steam Vents, untapped, and I'll grab Flooded Strand and Cephalic Coliseum from my graveyard. The next turn I'll have Cephalic Coliseum. And now I paid properly for Life from the Loam. So my opponent is holding, is posing here. Maybe they have Surgical, or Fairy Macabre, or Traven Charm, or maybe just Stubborn Denial. Yeah, Stubborn Denial, okay, no problem. This is the beauty of Life from the Loam. What I really wanted this turn is to put Life from the Loam in my graveyard, and it's there. Of course, having a Cephalic Coliseum in my hand would be spectacular, but I'm not even sure if cracking Cephalic Coliseum next turn is the best play. Because maybe we loam this card back to our hand next turn, we dredge it back, and then we don't have dredgers again, so let's see. My opponent now stole a Prize Amalgam from us. Let's dredge again. Okay, now we have Narcomoeba and Prize Amalgam. That's good. And in case you're wondering why I didn't cast Otherworldly Gaze in response, is because I don't want. I want to play Hedge Maze first to grab some information. Wonder is wonderful. And now I'll try Life from the Loam again. And if my opponent has Stubborn Denial, maybe they would just cast it again. Because my opponent isn't doing a thing. They played Ragavan and now they are just countering and destroying things. So maybe their hand is defensive. And now we don't have dredgers in our graveyard again. So it's important to have this loam back to our graveyard. Yeah, a second Stubborn Denial. And this is something that is called reading your opponent. Prize Amalgam is back with flying, a flying zombie. And my opponent will, okay, Leyline Binding, targeting my blocker. Okay. So my opponent needs to find something with this Ragavan. This is what they are trying to do. But we don't have that good hits with Ragavan, right? Maybe Lightning Axe. Okay, Pick or Poison. I don't have enchantments. I have a flying creature. My opponent can force me to sacrifice a creature with flying. but this Prize Amalgam will come back in a hot minute. Yeah, they are deciding to cast Pick Your Poison. And now a Kavu. Okay, so the clock is ticking. We will Dredge. Good news is my opponent is stepped out, so no Stubborn Denial now. Oh, and even Ox of Agonas. Let's see, Pick Your Poison will just bring us an Narcomoeba back. Not great. Life from the Loam can grab Cephalic Coliseum, but it will just be discarded. If I play Steam Vents and first cast Ox, and then decide what to do, maybe casting Loam after that to grab some Cephalic Coliseums for next turn, maybe it is just better. Yeah, so let's start with Ox of Agonas here. We must choose 8 useless cards to be exiled. Let's exile Cathartic Reunion, Pick Your Poison, 2, 3, Lightning Axe 4, Narcomoeba 5, Tom Scour, and Pick Your Poison. Beautiful. Ox enters, triggering Prize Amalgam. We discard our hand, and we Dredge 5. Creeping Choice is here, we Dredge 3, and we Dredge 3 again. Our best dredgers are hidden, but that's okay. Now we can cast Otherworldly Gaze or Loam. Which one is better? My opponent will attack with Kavu, and if I just cast Otherworldly Gaze, and if I don't find another dredger, my opponent can just exile my Loam, and I have no dredgers. But I also have Ox of Agonas there, so I could just cast a second Ox next turn. And this Ox can block one of my opponent's creatures. So because all of that, this Prize Amalgam will enter the battlefield. The first one, right? The second one will not. So let's Loam back some lands here. Coliseum, and a Confluence. And that's it. We pass a turn with 10 life. Not the best, but not the worst. My opponent is on 14 life. And they have only 2 lands yet, so this is turn 5. This is something in our favor. That's why they really need to attack with Ragavan. What they will choose with this Kavu? Oh, discarding a card to draw a card. So in this case, let's trust our feelings here and let's block Ragavan. We will go down to 6, but I don't think my opponent can kill us this turn. And we have 8 power in play. We need to deal 7 more damage to my opponent. We still have Creeping Chills. Oh, that's it. That's it. Maybe my opponent has Lightning Bolt. Now it's our turn. We have 11 power in play. We will Dredge 3. Okay. Now it's interesting. I think we have lethal if we hit one of our Creeping Chills. So I'll just place Cephalic Coliseum here. We don't have Bloodghast anymore, right? So let's ignore that possibility. And we'll Dredge 5. Creeping Chill Narcomoeba, great. We'll Dredge 4. Okay, Narcomoeba, and we'll Dredge 5. Another Creeping Chill, great. We can discard Loams. I don't think they are useful anymore. Yeah, my opponent concedes. Oh, GG. We won our first match. Let's keep going. If you're enjoying my content and want to support me as a content creator, the best way of doing it is on Patreon. Being there, you can read my weekly articles and also my sideboard guides to play this and other Dredge decks in other formats. I want to say thank you to all my patrons that you can see here on this page. Now, back to the games. Second round, we are against Cirrus 999. And we are on the play with a mediocre hand. Let's try to do better. No lands, unfortunately. Mulligan. Okay, let's skip this. We'll put Creeping Chill and Thug back. This is a slow hand, but Life from the Loam can save us. And my opponent is not a Giganta deck. That means I will play Otherworldly Gaze on my opponent's upkeep. Since I don't have Silver Smooth Goals, this is just the right thing to do. Let's grab Breeding Pool, just in case they play Force of Negation or something like that. And Otherworldly Gaze, because we really want card. Oh, Cathartic Reunion for next turn. So I kind of want Mana Confluence as well. Let's see. Golgari Thug will always be put into my graveyard. If I keep Mana Confluence Cathartic, I will draw Cathartic, and I don't have mana to cast Cathartic Reunion yet. But this is a great card. So I think I will keep Cathartic Mana Confluence and draw twice in a row. But if my opponent has something really fast, if my opponent is a combo deck and threats to win soon, maybe I just ignore Cathartic Reunion. I could ignore both actually and just cast a Loam next turn after dredging 4. Maybe I keep Cathartic and I surveil Mana Confluence to my graveyard, and on turn 2 I grab it with Life from the Loam, and then I have a Cathartic Reunion on turn 3 and Cephalic Coliseum on turn 4. Yeah, I'll do like this instead of putting 2 cards on top of my library. This Mana Confluence can stay in my graveyard. Let's keep Cathartic, and I will pass a turn. Okay, Undercity Silver, so this is a blue deck. Hopefully they will not have Force of Negation to cast against my Life from the Loam. Okay, they kept a card on top. Now it's our turn. We will draw Cathartic Reunion, and I will cast Life from the Loam to grab 2 lands and put an extra dredger in my graveyard. Okay, it resolved. Ooh, we are good to win this game, guys. Unless my opponent has something super scary on turn 2. Basic Island and pass. Okay, my opponent is threatening Orcish Bowmasters or is representing Orcish Bowmasters or Counterspell or both. So we will just dredge here, right? Dredge 4. Okay, we cannot crack Cephalic Coliseum yet. I think we don't have much choice here. We could just cast something weird from our graveyard, but I think I will force my opponent's Counterspell here. If they just Counterspell, we are still ahead. So let's play Mana Confluence and let's cast Cathartic Reunion, discarding both dredgers. And if my opponent only has Bowmasters, that's amazing. My opponent's Bowmasters will not do anything against that. No, it's Counterspell? Yeah, it says there, casts Counterspell, but now Counterspell hits the table. So, okay. Next turn we have Cephalic Elysium and Life from the Loam. And this is where Life from the Loam shines. Because now we have infinite Cephalic Elysiums from the rest of the game. And my opponent's counter spells will not be enough to stop us from winning this game. They need some other cards. Okay, my opponent is just waiting, and that's great for us. I will dredge. Okay, since we will crack Cephalic Elysium, I can dredge 5 here. Weapon Show is good. Oh, we have 2 Bloodghasts coming. Weapon Show is here. Maybe my opponent has ways to counter our triggered abilities. Let's see if they want to counter Bloodghasts. With Bloodghast abilities here, I could crack Cephalic Elysium in response, right? Maybe I don't need this because, yeah, I will do different. I will not crack Cephalic Elysium in response here. Bloodghast enters the battlefield because I don't want to accidentally lose my opportunity to understand what to do next. Because now I will crack Polluted Delta for a Steam Vents. And this guy is because maybe we hit Ox of Agonas. So I want to guarantee a possible Ox this turn instead of a Life from the Loam. And now I will activate Cephalic Elysium. Okay, my opponent will cast their Bowmasters. That's fine. We have treasures in our graveyard. That's not a problem at all. They will hit us, not Bloodghast. And now we'll dredge 4 again, and we'll dredge 4 again. Okay, all of our Loams are there. We'll discard you, and you. And now instead of Loam, we'll just cast Otherworldly Gaze. Okay, great. This is what I wanted to see. More creatures in play this turn. And if my opponent has a Wrath effect, they will definitely do it on their turn. And then we can proceed to win on the next turn. Now we don't have Sage's Name. And Sage's Name and Altanak are great against this deck. So if you have in your local area, in your local metagame, many control decks, you can include Altanak in your deck because it is awesome, as you saw in previous matches here on this humble channel. And now it's turn 4. My opponent needs to do something. They need, let's see if they surveil this. Yeah, Clouding Time to the graveyard. They play Polluted Delta. They need Toxic Deluge here. So if they attack, we will definitely block with Narcomoeba. Our creatures are already flying. Fatal Push is not enough. If they did this, it's because they don't have Toxic Deluge. Now they'll cast Murktide. Murktide is also not enough. Okay, all of our creatures has flying because of Wonder. So now what? We could dredge 5 trying to hit Ox, but I think it is safer to just go for Life from the Loam instead. Okay, now we'll hit Coliseum, Mana Confluence. And I cast Loam from my hand. Let's see if my opponent has another counterspell. They don't. So let's attack first, because if my opponent blocks Prize Amalgam will come back if we find another Narcomoeba. And we have other Narcos in our deck. Yeah, my opponent will go down to 2. Even a Creeping Chill can win this game. So let's crack Cephalic Elysium here. We still have 23 cards in our deck, so we are not afraid of dredging here. Dredge 5. Okay, Creeping Chill is here. Dredge 5, and my opponent concedes. Let's do our sideboard. Considering our options, do we want to sideboard against this deck? Leyline of the Void seems good, but it's not awesome against this deck. Pick Your Poison also has some text, but I don't think any of our sideboard cards are especially good. We could include a second Ox, but my opponent probably will have Harbinger of the Seas, so having more red cards is not that great. And Pick Your Poison is a sorcery, so we don't have ways to remove a Harbinger. Let's just hope that my opponent doesn't have. Lightning Axe could be an inclusion here. We could hit a Harbinger of the Seas, tap in a land in response. But I don't believe my opponent will mulligan aggressively until they find a Harbinger, and we have good sequence on turns 1 and 2. So let's just submit the deck back. And I have Otherworldly Gaze. Okay, this is almost good. We could keep this, of course, but my opponent kept 7. I think we have stronger hands than that. This is almost the same, but better. Keep this. Bloodghast can go back. My opponent plays a tapped land, surveilling to the top or to the bottom. To the graveyard, of course. And now, not scrying, right? This is not a temple. Now we will draw. Narcomoeba is the worst draw in our entire deck. Let's guarantee red mana here. Yes. And Thumb Scour, targeting ourselves. Okay, we have Dredgers, we have Cephalic Elysium, and Wonder. So all of our creatures will fly. Now is my opponent's turn. They draw, they play Water Grave, they will just wait, holding, again, Archish Bowmasters or Counterspell. We'll dredge 5. 1 Narcomoeba. Do we want to play Otherworldly Gaze in response here? Probably, right? So let's cast this in response. If we hit any Pressed Amalgams, it will be good. Maybe my opponent just counters Otherworldly Gaze. They are considering that. Yeah? This deserves a counterspell? Yeah. So Narcomoeba enters the battlefield. Oh no, they have some more. Surgical Extraction on Narcomoeba. That's fine. We have Bloodghasts. And our Narcomoeba in our hand wasn't especially good. So no Narcos for us, unfortunately. And Hedge Maze, do your job. Bring back Bloodghast. Oh, I should order this differently. Sorry. Mana Confluence. We don't want that, right? And now we pass a turn. My opponent knows that we don't have counterspells because of Surgical, so let's just press F6. My opponent plays a basic Swamp. Here comes the Merfolk. Our Bloodghast has Flying. And we have Otherworldly Gaze there. We have a Thug, so I will not cast Otherworldly Gaze yet. Let's Dredge first. Okay, Chill is here. We don't have goals in this deck, so we don't need to do anything immediately. But I will cast Otherworldly Gaze on my main step, because we have lands, and maybe we hit another Bloodghast. So let's cast Otherworldly Gaze here. Creeping Chill and Prize Amalgam, great. Great hits. Another Chill, so any Bloodghast will have haste. I don't think I will play my land here. I think I'll keep it, in case we dredge another Bloodghast. Let's hit our opponent, down to 8. And we can press, my opponent plays a basic island, and Thought-Scour targeting themselves, and probably Murktide region. Yeah, the 6/6 flying for now. My opponent attacks me, the Merfolk. We will dredge 4. Okay, nothing good. Let's cast Otherworldly Gaze here. Again, nothing great. Let's put everything into our graveyard. How many chills we still have? 2. We need to hit our Creeping Chills and also at least 1 Bloodghast, so we can have a chance to win the game. We have our best dredger in our graveyard. My opponent casts Thought-Scour, so they have spell bombs as well. They play an island, Bloom Lake Verge. They attack me. Okay, I cannot block. We are down to 13, and they pass a turn. We'll dredge, come on deck. Nothing. Let's cast Otherworldly Gaze again. Another Prize Amalgam. We'll put everything into our graveyard. We have one more turn to try to win this game. Bloodghast will attack. My opponent's down to 6. We need to hit Bloodghast and Creeping Chill next turn. I hope that my opponent doesn't have removal. We are down to 5. This is a close matchup. We will dredge 4. Okay, no Creeping Chills, no Bloodghast. Where are they? We have 4 cards that we want. Even Arcomiba would be good, but my opponent obviously get rid of them because they are great blockers. So yeah, we are unfortunately lost here. Let's draw some cards to see. Prize Amalgam, Cathartic. Yeah, okay, there is 1 Creeping. Now we'll be on the play. And on the play, the scenario is different. I still think we don't want to submit the deck with sideboard cards, considering what we have here. We don't have anything special against this deck. We start on the play. This is almost good. Let's mulligan. I don't like this hand that much. This can work. My opponent gets 7 cards, but this can also be awful. I'll try to have a better 5, guys. This is not a better 5. Oh gosh, 4 Prize Amalgams in our starting hand. Let's go to 4. This is our best hand. It's not great, but it is our best hand. Now what? Let's start with Thought-Scour. At least we have 2 lands, and maybe, just maybe, we can have something good on turn 3. Okay, we have Loam, Ox, and Dredgers. This Thought-Scour was good. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have Spellbomb on turn 1. They can have Spellbomb. No, just a Surveil Land. They kept the card on top, so we must hurry up. We'll dredge 5 here. Conflagrate there for the future. I think we'll first cast Otherworldly Gaze and then the Maze, right? Considering that we want... Because if the Maze hits something good on top, yeah, let's cast Otherworldly Gaze first. Please no Force of Negation. I want to resolve this Otherworldly Gaze. Okay, it resolved. Nothing special again. So let's put everything into our graveyard. And now this Hedge Maze maybe finds us something good. Narcomoeba would be amazing, but my opponent is posing a lot, so that means they probably have Surgical Extraction again. I will not keep Thought-Scour, put this into our graveyard, and now we pass. If my opponent wants to hit something with Surgical Extraction, they have great hits here. Prize Amalgams are great hits, since we still have Bloodghast, and now we have Life from the Loam. Loam is a good hit. Let's see. Doughty? Oh no, Doughty. Okay, now what? We have a Conflagrate there, and we have Loam. So we can grab Loam, grab some lands back. Oh, my opponent is surgically Ox of Agonas. Okay. I don't think this is wise. My opponent should surgical Life from the Loam here. I have only 1 Ox. But maybe they have counter spells, right? So now we'll grab Loam, what we put into our exile zone. Okay. And now we'll grab Mana Confluence, Stephadic Coliseum. Let's tap 2 mana here. And now we will play. Doesn't matter too much. Let's play Mana Confluence. My opponent knows what is happening at this point. So they need a counterspell. If they don't have a counterspell, I will kill Doughty Voidwalker. Oh, they have a second one. But I can kill both. They still need a counterspell. Let's just draw here. Okay, so to kill both Doughties, I should kill them now, right? And I think I cannot wait. If I just play Stephadic Coliseum and wait 1 more turn, we will not have any chances to win. If my opponent counters my Conflagrate, I will just concede. I would like to have 1 more land in play here to play around Spell Pierce, since my opponent has 1 blue mana untapped. But I cannot give me this luxury. I need to get rid of both Doughties. I have 4 cards in my hand and a Conflagrate there. This is what we are here to do. If my opponent has a counterspell, we'll give up. So yeah, let's play this, tapping these, discarding those. Is this resolving? Is this resolving? Is this resolving? Oh, my opponent is thinking here. Come on, opponent. It resolved! I wish I had some fireworks to put here on the screen now. Even if we lose this battle, this was amazing. Okay, guys. Maybe I'll add some fireworks on the addition process. Now what? My opponent plays a Scalding turn. A nerf! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Okay, now what? And Psychic Probe. We cannot win anymore, guys. That was only conflict rate, and I didn't include anything else that can hit Doughty Woodwalker. Yeah, that's unfortunate. GG's. We lost, but it was a nice battle. Let's go to our next one. Round 3, we are paired with Fruitkid, and this hand is a bad mulligan. I mean, a needed mulligan. This also is a mulligan. Okay, this is our best hand. We can keep both Loams here and putting back both fetches, so we never draw them again. But I would like to have a Hedge Maze on turn 1. Or maybe I don't need that. What do we have left from the Loam? Not sure here. It all depends about what my opponent is playing, because if my opponent is... This isn't a Gigant attack, so maybe Hedge Maze is good. Let's keep a Hedge Maze and work to reach our Ox of Agonas with left from the Loam. Okay, this is a combo deck. Now it's our turn. Some Scour is even better. So let's grab green mana here with Breeding Pool, untapped, and I'll have a great turn. 1. Dredger? I need to be fast. Okay, Dredger, Ox, and Narcomoeba. That's great. Narcomoeba enters the battlefield. It's a free 1-on flying. This will hit our opponent, dealing 3 damage. So my opponent is virtually on 17. My opponent plays Cavern of Souls, okay? Merfolk. So maybe this is not the combo deck I was expecting. Maybe this is just Merfolk. Yeah, Merfolk Wizard. And my opponent has another Adept in their hand. I was expecting something like... yeah, but this is not the same land. Yeah, sure. Yeah, this wasn't the same combo deck that we saw before here on the channel. Now we will Dredge 5, okay? And now I play Mana Confluence. And this is some interesting scenario here. Ox would be really good if we could cast Ox now. But to cast Ox, we should exile some of our Dredgers there to exile weight cards. So it's nice to have a Cathartic Ring on turn 2 instead of going for Ox. We discard Synchro Imp and Life from the Law. I don't think my opponent has Force of Negation. They may have. Okay, Dredge 5, Dredge 4, and Dredge 4. We have only 2 Prism Albums. Okay, it's good, it's good. And next turn, that Bloodghast will come back. No chills yet. We have an island, so soon my opponent's creatures will give us more islands than we want. Let's attack with Narcomoeba here. I think we are slightly ahead, but that can change in a blink of an eye. I will pass the turn. My opponent draws a legendary Minamo. And Harbinger. Okay, so we have lands for days. My opponent didn't attack. Let's hit Wonder, right? So we'll Dredge 4. Our Loam plan is not available anymore. Conflict Rate is not a reality anymore. I will cast Otherworldly Gaze. Otherworldly Gaze is so good against this opponent's plan. So let's put everything into our graveyard, draining 3. We have another prized Amalgam for the future. And I could keep Cephalic Museum just to bring a single Bloodghast, but I don't think it's time to do this yet. Attack with everyone. We are ahead on this race. My opponent is trying to control the board, but now they are down to 8 life. They play an island. It's not a Mutavault, it's an island. Another Irregular, revealing a Lord. So now my opponent's creatures will get huge. But I still think we are slightly ahead, unless my opponent has something extra in their hand. My opponent is not attacking. Let's hit Wonder to fly above those fish. We'll Dredge 4. Yeah, we have Dredge 4 there. Okay, Narco, Bloodghast. Let's order those triggers. But now I'll cast Otherworldly Gaze in response. Let's hit Wonder. Yeah, Wonder. Ha! Take that, fishes. Now our creatures will fly, and we won. We even have a Creeping Chill here. Yeah, my opponent concedes. Ooh, Wonder! Doing wonderful things against the fish people. Now what? Again, I don't think we have many good things against fish here. Conflict Rate is a good removal spell against small creatures, but if my opponent has Harbinger, Conflict Rate is just not good enough. I think we just want to be fast. If my opponent has something weird like Leyline of the Void or something specifically against our deck, maybe we could include something. But my opponent probably plays as an aggro/temple deck. The removal spell seems good, but not sure. I will not do a single change against my opponent's deck. I don't think our sideboard is that good, especially on the draw. Okay, now this hand has Dredgers, right? And lands. But no, thank you. Okay, only a single land. My opponent kept 7. I think we can do better. Let's mulligan. Almost the same hand, unfortunately. On 5 I'll keep this, but we need to top deck a land. Let's put Creeping Chill and Bloodghast back to the deck. We need to top deck a land or we'll just lose. What? My opponent is passing? I think they pressed the F button by mistake. Okay, they have a basic island. And now we draw land. Press Amalgam instead. We play Mana Confluence and pass. My opponent plays a second island and Tide Shaper. So now we have an island. And we cannot cast Cathartic Reunion anymore. Let's top deck a land, shall we? Not a land, so we'll just pass back. Yeah, our mulligan wasn't good. Okay, a Lord. We still have a chance if we top deck a land. If you don't, this is probably lost. Come on deck, a land. Yeah. So, of course, my opponent can have Spell Pierce or something like that. So at least we will discard our Dredgers here. We discard our best Dredgers, trying to do the best Dredge impression. We Dredge 4, we Dredge 5, and now we Dredge 5 again. Okay, 2 Amalgams and 1 Narco. That's good. Next turn, unless my opponent has another Tide Shaper, we will cast Loam to grab some lands back. Wonder is there, so our zombies will fly again. I can press F6 here probably. I don't think my opponent will play around Force of Negation or other free counter spells. Okay, they have Harbinger of the Tides. This is the other Harbinger. They will just bounce our Prize Amalgam. And the other one. Okay, we could block here just to save some life. And I think this is probably wise since my opponent's deck has 3 creatures with Island Walk now. On the other hand, no, let's block. We will lose this probably, but weird things can happen. We can top deck an amazing card. We'll Dredge 4. We have other Gaze, this Narcomoeba, the table. Okay, I will cast Loam here, grabbing Coliseum, and Steam Vents. So we'll tap this island and this Mana Confluence. I play Cephalic Coliseum, or maybe I just play Steam Vents. I'm thinking here, the only way to win this game is to sequencing some Creeping Chills next turn, so we need to have maximum effect. If I play Cephalic Coliseum or Steam Vents, my opponent can turn this new land into an island, or maybe Mana Confluence itself. I think our best shot here is to... Yeah, so I'll play Steam Vents tapped. Our best shot here is to have Cephalic Coliseum and Ox of Agonas next turn available to us. So we can Dredge 6 times. And because of that, Amalgams can wait a little bit. I'll just discard our best Dredgers. Because our plan is to crack Cephalic Coliseum and then cast Ox of Agonas. My opponent is tapping mana. Hopefully this is not another Lord. Okay, it's a Mimic. So it is another Lord. And we lost. Okay. We had a bad starting hand. It was difficult, especially on the draw. Now what? My opponent didn't have Harbinger of the Seas. So maybe Lightning Axe is worth on the play. Maybe, just maybe. What we could do differently here. The thing is, I like all of the deck against Merfolk. I don't think we have that many things to do differently here. And we kill one card, they just play another one. So I'm not sure. Everything is so good. Yeah, I will not include Lightning Axe. Especially because their best... I'll keep this. Their best creatures has 2 mana cost. And Lightning Axe is good when you try to kill their first threat on turn 1. That's why Lightning Axe is so good against energy decks, for example. But against Merfolk, you'll just wait without doing nothing with that Lightning Axe, but then you want to cast Cathartic Union on turn 2, and then they cast a good spell on turn 2. Then on turn 3, you have another things to do, and sometimes you must choose to kill their creature or to do your thing, because you not always have 3 or 4 mana to work with. My opponent also kept 7 cards. So we'll start here with Hedge Maze, but let's see what my opponent has first, because I don't know. Maybe they have something against our land. It's just yeah, this is perfect. Just a small creature like this one, nothing too embarrassing. Now we have 3 lands, so this creature will not do much damage. Life from the Loam is a good card to put into our graveyard, so we can start dredging from this turn. We dredge 3, Creeping Chill and Narco, okay. Narco enters, Creeping Chill hits, and now I'll play... Let's guarantee our Steam Vents here before anything bad happens. So Steam Vents is here, untapped, ouch, 2 damage. And now we'll cast Cathartic Reunion. I would like to discard Prize Amalgam here and trying to be lucky, but I think we need to discard Dredgers, because we have 3 Dredgers in our hand, so let's discard 2 of them. We'll Dredge 5, 4, and yeah, luckily we do the right thing. We have 2 Bloodghast and 1 Prize Amalgam for next turn, and that's it. 3 Bloodghasts actually. Now I pass it on. We have 3 Cephalic Coliseums in a row there. 1, 2, 3. My opponent plays a Mutavault. Are they thinking about holding mana to tap one of our lands? If this is their plan, I'm in. Please do it. Do it. We have Life from the Loam in our hand. We can take a few land tapping. My opponent taps mana, so it's not that. Either Vial, okay. Yeah, I think that's my opponent's plan. They will just tap our red mana probably. Oh, or green mana. Doesn't matter too much. We could go for an Otherworldly Gaze here, but I think I want Life from the Loam instead. Oh, we don't have Dredgers there. So if I don't cast Otherworldly Gaze, I will just... But I think having more lands will be good in a couple of turns. If I cast Otherworldly Gaze in response, and we hit a Dredger, that's good, but we cannot cast Loam this turn. So I think that's fine. Can we draw? Cathartic Reunion! Even better. Okay, even better. 3 Bloodghasts coming to our party, triggering the single Prize Amalgam in our graveyard. And now we will cast Cathartic Reunion here, discarding Prize Amalgam. And now we can do that, I think, because now we are ahead on this race. We will Dredge 5 and 5. We have Wonder and 5 again. Narcomoeba hits the table. We have a Conflagrate there. Yeah, my opponent needs to have something really good. Just a single Harbinger of the Seas will not do it. My opponent needs something better than that. Let's attack with Narcomoeba. We'll have 3 Prize Amalgams coming back this turn. And I don't think my opponent has ways to get rid of so many creatures at the same time. They don't have Cyclonic Rift for 3 mana. Plays an island. Okay, a Lord. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? Oh, my opponent is getting frisky with their dog hand. My friends all have Porsches. So let's win the game, shall we? We even have Conflict waiting in our... Yeah, it just feels amazing. Let's Dredge 4, Creeping Chill, Narcomoeba, and my opponent concedes. Ooh, we won this match. Let's keep going. Let's go to our next one. Round 4, we are against the svessesvv, and we are on the play. This is a good hand. Why we don't always have beautiful hands like this one, right? I go turn 1, I go turn 2, Cephalic Coliseum, every mana. Beautiful. Only one Dredger. I don't care. I don't want perfection. I just want a balanced starting hand like this one. My opponent is going to 6 cards. Oh, my opponent is on Eldrazi with Devourer of Destiny, so we should be quick. And I think this hand is probably good enough to be quick. So let's start with Mana Confluence and Otherworldly Gaze. Okay, I don't need second Cathartic Reunion with this hand. We could keep it. It's good. Maybe I should keep it since I have Dredger and Bloodghast. You know what? I will keep my second Cathartic Reunion, because maybe my opponent has Kozilek's Command, and we'll need another good enabler on turn 3. 2 Prize Amalgams are great. They are great threats waiting to enter the battlefield. And since we have Bloodghast in our hand, they will definitely enter on turn 3, maybe on turn 2. My opponent has Eldrazi Temple there. What they didn't want? Anything. They don't want lands and those creatures. They want Kozilek's Command, probably. So we play Cephalic Coliseum, and now I will cast my first Cathartic Reunion, discarding you and you. Let's see if this resolves. Yeah, Dredge 5 and Dredge 4. 1 chill and Dredge 3. Okay, no Narcos yet. Bloodghast will wait for next turn. And now we'll pass the turn. My opponent plays Cavern. Naming Eldrazi. What a surprise. And they play 3 mana. They tap 3 mana to exile my life from the loam. Yeah, it's my only Dredger now. But that's fine. Yeah, they are looking for Kozilek's Command. And they scried 1 card to the bottom. That's actually okay. I don't care that much. I will have a draw here, another loam, and I'll start casting Cathartic Reunion. Let's discard our best Dredgers. We'll Dredge 5, 4. We have Ox there, but this probably is extra. 2 chills, almost haste to our Bloodghast, almost, because my opponent's lands didn't force them to lose life. If those were Shocklands, my opponent would probably lose. Now, oh, I should order this differently. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm just clicking here to be quick, but let's pay attention. Okay, my opponent just concedes, but let's pay attention here. When you have this situation, it is happening a lot on my leagues, you play Hedge Maze, and you have Maze, and you have Bloodghast in your graveyard. Order this to Hedge Maze trigger goes first, because if you have a Prize Amalgam on top of your library, it will enter the battlefield in the same turn. But okay, it was good enough to win. I don't think we have that many things to do against Eldrazi. Maybe they have some artifacts or enchantments, probably artifacts. This could hit something like Chalice or a Talisman, but this play is so defensive. Lizards are not good. We are not seeing any Storm decks lately. X has some text, but again, this is not a turn 1 play against Eldrazi. Ultragrid and Ox are good. I like those cards, but I think I already like what we have in our main deck against Eldrazi. Yeah, let's do the deck submission without any changes. Okay, no Dredgers, but we are here for a good turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, 6. My opponent also kept 7 cards, but no Devourer of Destiny this game. They play Eldrazi Temple and pass. We draw. Prize Amalgam, okay. Let's guarantee our red mana here. Invent is in play. And Thumbscour targeting ourselves. Life from the Loam and Prize Amalgam, alright. We have 1 Dredger. Next turn I can Dredge Loam. My opponent has a basic Wastes. And that's it, so they probably have Kozilek's Command there. We'll cast Loam. Now what? I'm not sure if I want to cast Cathartic Reunion without other Dredger than Life from the Loam. But my opponent had the opportunity to exile my Loam and decided to not go for it. I have a Bloodghast there. So in both cases here, in any scenario, I need to play a land. Let's play Mana Confluence and see if my opponent wants to respond to this. No? So maybe they don't have it. Maybe they have, I don't know, the One Ring or something like that. So let's do our thing and hope for the best. I'll cast Cathartic Reunion, discarding Loam and Prize Amalgam. Oh, they have something. Okay. They were just waiting for the right moment. But it's okay, we'll draw 3 cards. Oh, they have Warping Veil. Okay, Warping Veil. Counter target sorcery spell. Okay, you got this. Not a problem. We have 1 Prize Amalgam triggering the other. We don't have anything special in our hand anymore, so if my opponent has a Thought-Knot Seer, that's okay. I don't know if they play with Thought-Knot Seer. Yeah, they do. And they will probably take Prize Amalgam, right? It's the best card after all. Yeah. And now we will Dredge 3. Only 3, unfortunately. We still don't have other dredgers, so I think this is a life from the long turn. We could also play Otherworldly Gaze, but let's grab some other lands because my opponent also has land disruption. So let's guarantee our lands here with Loam. Let's attack here. If my opponent wants to block one Prize Amalgam, I don't care. They will go down to 12. And now I'll play Cephalic Coliseum. I don't have ways to crack Cephalic Coliseum yet, but if my opponent doesn't have land disruption, I'll crack probably 2 Cephalic Coliseums next turn. Unclaimed territory, Eldrazi, maybe they have the Michael spawn. No, another Thought Knot Seer. That's okay, my friend. I don't have good cards in my hand. I would definitely not cast Creeping Chill from my hand. My opponent attacks me. We are down to 14, and now we'll dredge 3. 2 Bloodghast are great, but again, unfortunately, no dredger there. We have some options here. I could crack Cephalic Coliseum anyway, so we'll draw 3, or I can just cast Loam and keep going and then cracking 1 Cephalic Coliseum. We can also cast Otherworldly Gaze. Where are our dredgers? We have so many dredgers. We have 11 other dredgers in our deck. So let's grab lands here. Maybe we have a huge Conflagrate coming in the future to tap you and you. And now I'll play Cephalic Coliseum. Grab me some Bloodghast. I'm doing this now before maybe we hit Wanderer or Creeping Chill. And then those Bloodghasts will have haste. I could do this after combat, but I think this is better before combat. Please, Loam, chain dredging here. Dredge 3. We couldn't chain dredgers. That's awful. Okay, so Loam going to our graveyard and 2 fetch lands. But we have Cathartic Reunion and double Cephalic Coliseum in our future. And I'll still attack here. My opponent will probably block my Prize Amalgam. The good thing is, one Prize Amalgam comes back, and in the next turn, the other one also comes back. But now my opponent can attack me dealing 8 damage. Oh, the Line Breaker. They can give trample to their haste and trample. Did we lose? Yeah, guys. Unfortunately, we lose this game. That's so unfortunate. We couldn't chain dredgers. After 30 cards, we saw a single life from the lawn. Our deck lost to itself. And no changes. Let's just submit the deck back on the play. Please be good to us. No, this would be a good mulligan to 4. Let's try a 6. This is no good. My opponent also went to 6. Let's go to 5. Do we keep this on 5? I think we do. I'm not happy, but I think we do keep this on 5. Keep it. Keep it. Putting both threats back to the deck. Okay, so we top deck Cathartic Reunion. Let's shuffle those threats back into the deck with this fetch land. And now we don't know what to grab here. Red or green. Since we have only 2 lands, maybe it doesn't matter. I'll grab green here. Because if we hit Loam, and Loam is good against this deck, maybe this guarantees us... Okay, we have Loam. Great. And we have Cathartic Reunion in our hand for next turn. Unfortunately, no red mana yet. I was choosing between one and other, and now I have both. Now what? Can I keep... Loam will go to my graveyard, of course. Can I keep Cathartic Reunion on top? Maybe this is just too slow. Let's try, guys. This wasn't a good mulligan. Not perfect. I think I will try to keep all of my neighbors to win this game. My opponent plays a land. They will choose a creature type. They chose Eldrazi. And now it's our turn. We will draw. And now I will play Cephalic Coliseum. And let's see what my opponent plays. Let's see if they have Kozilek's command or not. I believe they don't. Just 2 Eldrazi. 2 Eldrazi lands. Okay, so let's cast this Otherworldly Gaze with Flashback. Okay, this wasn't the right timing, unfortunately. I'm so used to do this on my end step. I should do this on my opponent's second main step. That's okay, we are still good to win this. But we could have 2 Prize Amalgams in play. This was a misplay, guys. Let me do the misplays, not you. You should pay attention. Now what? Now I'll grab my life from the Loam here. Creeping Chill is here. My opponent's hand is so slow. What do they have? Maybe 3 Line Breakers? Let's grab those lands here. And I'll play Scalding Tarn. And then we'll attack with Nakamoiba and pass the turn. Let's see what my opponent does to decide what to do with this Scalding Tarn. If this is a tapped land, Surveil land, or an Otherworldly Gaze. Because if they have, for example, Thought Knot Seer, I'll just cast Otherworldly Gaze, working to cast Ox next turn. My opponent plays a 3rd Eldrazi land. This is a weird keep. This is turn 3, and my opponent didn't do a single thing yet. One of the reasons I did that misplay, tapping my land on my opponent's end step to cast Otherworldly Gaze, is in Modern is a misplay, in Legacy is the best play. But it's because I was just scared, thinking, well, my opponent must have something, right? This is not good enough. My opponent must have something. They must have something. Yeah, Line Breaker. Line Breaker is a good hasty creature. Will my opponent attack me with their Eldrazi Line Breaker? No, okay. Smart, because now I will do the right thing. I will crack Scalding Tarn on my opponent's second main phase for a Steam Vents, untapped, and I'll cast Otherworldly Gaze. Okay, Creeping Chill, Bulgari Thug, and Nakamoiba. Creeping Chill is always excellent, especially against an aggressive deck like Eldrazi. This is not Eldrazi Ramp, this is a Eldrazi Midrange. It's a different Eldrazi deck. So my opponent's down to 13. This will be a good turn. We'll dredge 5. Okay, we even have Bloodghast there. I'm not sure if we want to exile 8 cards from those 9 cards there, because we have good hits there. Maybe we don't need Life from the Low anymore, so it's fine. So we have 2 dredges in our hand, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I must decide between Bloodghast and Prize Amalgam. I think we will hit another Creeping Chill after dredging 3 times this turn. So I think I will prioritize Bloodghast instead of Prize Amalgam. Yeah, so let's bring Bloodghast back. And this Catholic Reunion will not be useful anymore, because we will have Ox of Agonas and Cephalic Coliseum. Sometimes we do what you got to do, right? We don't need to stay attached to a single plan. If we have 3 good plans, we can choose what we think it works better. But I'm not clicking here. Press Amalgam. Yeah. So now Ox enters the battlefield. Come on, Creeping Chill. Dredge 5. First Creeping Chill Narcomoeba, great. Dredge 5. Okay, and Dredge 5 again. We have Wonder. Okay, now with those on the stack, let's order. Okay, my opponent concedes. Yeah, with Wonder, you cannot do a single thing. Let's go to our final match. We are playing against SireOfMana, and this hand unfortunately is a mulligan. Okay, we are on the draw. This hand is super slow. We have great possibilities of hitting something good here. Do we keep it? Let's keep this, put in Chill and Prize Amalgam. Oh no, only 1. Oh, this is a mulligan to 6. Okay, it's still the same keep. So yeah, my opponent starts. Let's pay attention here. Sacred Foundry, but no Giganta, but Ragavan. Okay, so we kept a slow hand against an aggressive deck. Mana Confluence is good. Let's start with Mana Confluence here. And let's cast Otherworldly Gaze, because if this is a Zoo deck without Giganta, okay, 3 Dredges are awesome. They could go to our graveyard, and then we have Cephalic Coliseum on turns 2 and 3. As I was saying, if my opponent has a Stubborn Denial, for example, I'm not sure if they play blue or not, but let's guarantee our hits instead of playing around counterspells that 3 counterspells, right? My opponent attacks us with Ragavan. Please, just a land, nothing good on top. Life from the Loam, okay. My opponent will not have value from Life from the Loam this turn, so... And we already have 2 Loams there. My opponent plays Marsh Flats and passes with 3 open mana, probably Orcish Bowmasters or Lightning Bolt or other removals. So we will dredge 4 here. We have a Conflagrate, but no mana yet. We have Loam there. I think we still have the same plan. Let's just crack Cephalic Coliseum. Maybe my opponent will play Orcish Bowmaster in response, but we have 3 dredges there. No Orcish Bowmasters, great. So dredge 4, Narcomoeba is good, and dredge 3 with Life from the Loam. 2 Bloodghast for next turn and 1 Conflagrate. Let's discard Prize Amalgam so it can come back. It can come back, and let's discard 2 good dredgers. And I'm thinking here maybe next turn I will just cast Loam instead of cracking Cephalic Coliseum again. It will depend about what my opponent has, because so far we didn't see much, only Ragavan. My opponent cracks Marsh Flats for a tapped Boros land. So maybe this is just Boros energy with the revision. My opponent has 3 mana and nothing on turn 2. Okay, Lightning Bolt on Narcomoeba. We are fine with that play. Ragavan hits. My opponent probably values Ragavan a lot to tries to... Oh, another Loam. Trying to improve their mana with treasure tokens. Do they have the One Ring? Oh, they do. Okay. So since they have the One Ring, my opponent probably decided this instead of us, right? Because now I will just play Cephalic Coliseum here. Bloodghast will enter the battlefield. My opponent has 3 cards in their hand. They didn't tap the One Ring yet. Let's grab some more lands. Mana Confluence, Hedge Maze. I don't think I even grab another Cephalic Coliseum here. But if I have Mana Confluence, it's already good to cast whatever I need. So yeah, Cephalic Coliseum. And I'll tap 2 mana here. And now I think I'll just pass the turn with 7 cards in my hand. Prize Amalgam will try to hold Ragavan for a while, because my opponent has protection from everything. Now they finally taps the One Ring. My opponent loses 1 life. They'll draw 2 extra cards with the One Ring. They have 7 cards in their hand. Galvanic Discharge, yeah, my opponent values Ragavan a lot. Again, I'm not an energy player, so I'm not sure if this is correct. Maybe they need the mana for some reason. Okay, Ajani, we'll have a Conflagrate next turn, so we can hit every creature. My opponent hits me now. We need more Creeping Chills. We still didn't hit a single chill. The good news is that my opponent is virtually on 13 because of the One Ring, and no second the One Ring this turn. We can cast a huge Conflagrate next turn, and maybe we can hit some chills. We have a Dredge 5 in our graveyard. My opponent is thinking here. Maybe about deploying more creatures or not, since we have Conflagrate. And in this case, which creatures they should. Yeah, no other creatures. Now it's our turn. We will Dredge 5. Creeping Chill? Yeah, 2 chills. Chill, 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 chill. Which sound Creeping Chill will do? Something like... Okay, so 2 Creeping Chills. Hitting the table, my opponent is virtually on 9. I'll play Mana Confluence, our Bloodghast have haste, and I can... Yeah, this is weird, because I can attack here. I think my opponent noticed Conflagrate there. If I just attack, my opponent will definitely block. If my opponent don't block with both creatures, yeah, I'm not sure what to do here. Let's think. We could just crack Cephalic Coliseum and cast Otherworldly Gaze, trying to hit more chills and more creatures, because my opponent is virtually on 7. So maybe that Conflagrate is already lethal, and I'm just overthinking here. Yeah, let's attack here. Let's see what my opponent does. I don't think my opponent has counter spells. This seems like straight Boros or maybe Mardu. My opponent blocks only with the Cat Warrior. Oh, and they kill my Bloodghast with Lightning Bolt. That is still fine. We are still winning because my opponent needs ways to gain life at instant speed, and I'm not sure if they have something like Solitude. So let's just bring back those Bloodghasts. Surprise Amalgams also will come back, and now I'll hit my opponent for 7. We'll pay 2 red mana, and I'll discard 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Now my opponent is down to 2, and they concede. Yeah, they don't have ways to gain life at instant speed. So let's sideboard. This is an energy deck, maybe some control-ish elements there. They have the One Ring, maybe it's just the energy deck that we are used to see, but no Jagantha. That was interesting. I think I will sideboard as I always do against energy, so let's include Ox, Conflagrate, and 3 copies of Lightning Axe. Sometimes they also have Blood Moon, so more red cards are good. And what to take from our deck? 1 Bloodghast. Now we don't have the Sate's Name package to take, so we need to take other good cards. 1 Thumbscour probably. Creeping Chill is good, especially because my opponent can be super aggressive. But since I want to include that many cards, I think I can take 1 Chill from the deck and 1 Otherworldly Gaze, because Lightning Axe are also great on turn 1. Yeah, let's try like this. Ooh, this is almost a good hand. Let's roll this back. My opponent is going to 6. This is almost good. Let's try to do better on 6. Or worse in this case. Now let's try to do better on 5. My opponent kept 6. Let's go to 4. Okay, on 4 I think we keep it, right? But we'll lose this game, guys. Let's keep this on 4. We'll put Ox, Thug, and Thug back. We need to top deck a Cathartic Reunion, or 1 more land to have a turn 3 Conflagrate. Or maybe a turn 1 Conflagrate for 0, just to discard it if we draw a Mana Confluence. Thumbscour, okay. So let's start with Mana Confluence and Thumbscour. Narcomoeba? Yeah, Narcomoeba and Creeping Chill. And we have a Dredge there. So now my opponent needs to work against my Narcomoeba to hit me with Ragavan. And that's fine. Each Lightning Bolt that my opponent spends on my Narcomoebas are a win for us. My opponent plays Aridimisa and Ocelot Pride, so they will not attack with Ragavan this turn. Oh, they will. They will not. Okay, we managed to keep Ragavan on defense. Now we don't have Dredgers there, so we should cast Loam to bring back some lands. And Loam is so good in situations like this, when you just don't have Dredgers in your graveyard, and you will put a Dredger there and still gain some card advantage. Now let's keep this Narcomoeba right there, waiting a little bit more. My opponent will probably Surveil here, yeah? Elegant Parlour. And they kept the card on top. Oh, they have Static Prison for Narcomoeba. That's wild. They really want some mana with Ragavan. We almost can kill everyone here, but our Conflagrate is in our hand. We can kill our Ragavan next turn if we feel we want to. Okay, now maybe it's important because it's my opponent's only red permanent at this moment. Let's Dredge first. Dredge 3. Okay, we have a Dredger there, so no worries. We could even cast Sync Imp as a blocker. But I know this is weird and maybe counterintuitive, but I think I will cast Conflagrate to deal 1 damage to Ragavan. Is that crazy? Let's see. What else we could do here? We could go for a Hedge Maze here, but I think and then cast Craxified Coliseum. But we have only 1 Loam there. My fear is that my opponent has Lightning Bolt to hit their own Cat token here, and then flip a Journey and deal lots of damage to us. And we don't have a blocker to this Ragavan yet. The way my opponent is playing suggests me that they don't have that many other creature cards in their hand. On turn 2 they did nothing, and then on turn 3 they played everything. And this gives us 1 more turn to have a great turn 4 with maybe a second Conflagrate and then Crakencephalic Coliseum. Yeah, I will do exactly what I am talking. This is super weird, but I think it has the potential to be the best play. So let's grab a Steam Vent here, untapped, ouch, and we'll hit Ragavan, dealing 1 damage to the monkey. We are down to 13. Hopefully this is the best play. It seems like my opponent needs mana. And now we press F6, we have nothing else. My opponent will pay 1 energy to Static Prison, or maybe not, but Narcomoeba is at least a blocker at this point. Yeah, my opponent will just attack now, nothing else. 7 permanents, so no Ascent yet. Another Ajani. Yeah, my opponent wants to flip this Ajani so bad, and we did the right thing with our Conflagrate. Because if it wasn't for this, my opponent will hit us something close to lethal damage. And now they don't have red permanents anymore. But now they will have Ascent this turn. Unless they go plus in Ajani to put counters on the cats. Maybe they want to do that because we have a Conflagrate there. We just want to kill Ocelot Pride. Yeah, they decided to put counters on the cats. So no Ascent yet. I don't think my opponent did the right play there. I don't play energy, but I think Ascent would be better than putting counters. They want to do to difficult our life with this play, but we can still kill the kitty cat. Let's see. We don't have Dredgers in our graveyard yet. Only 2 Loams in our hand. So we'll cast Conflagrate, dealing 2 damage to Assault Pride. And maybe 1 damage to Cat Token. We don't care about the Ajani anymore since they are on 5. It is on 5 loyalty. And we don't have ways to attack. I will always play Breeding Pool untapped. And then I'll kill the Pride and 1 Cat Token. So my opponent is more distance from Ascend. Let's pay 2 red mana. And let's discard 3 Dredgers. Now we have Dredgers in our graveyard. And now we'll crack Cephalic Coliseum. Hopefully we'll find Creeping Chills or blockers or both. It's our best shot. Come on. Dredge 5. Narco, okay. Dredge 3. Nothing yet. Dredge 3. Okay, 1 chill. And now we discard 3 cards. So we'll go up to 7. I was looking for Said's name in my graveyard. No, I'm not playing Altanak this league. And Creeping Chill hits the table. My opponent is down to 13. We are up to 7. But we are not great yet because my opponent can just they can plus a Ajani again. Oh, they have lethal, right? Oh, now that I'm seeing they have lethal. This is a 3-2. This was behind the other cat warrior, but both are 3-2. If my opponent pluses a Ajani, they have lethal anyways. Okay, we needed 1 more Creeping Chill. We did everything we could after that bad starting hand. Oh, my opponent missed it? Oh, my opponent just missed lethal here. They could plus 2 Ajani here and have lethal, but they didn't. And now I have 2 alive. Okay. Maybe my opponent noticed that they missed lethal. They have 2 cards in their hand. Maybe they have Lightning Bolt and that's okay. No, they are just passing. We can cast Ox this turn. And our creatures now have flying. Oh, Orim's Chant. That's nasty. So now I cannot attack and I cannot play any spells. So I think I will cast Otherworldly Gaze in response. Okay, Narcomoeba is here to save the day. But we need 1 more Creeping Chill. Or 1 more Narcomoeba, of course. So Dredge 5. Yeah, both. Ooh. Even without casting spells in our main phase, Otherworldly Gaze saved us from the death. And if we don't die and if we don't lose more life this turn, my opponent needs a red permanent. So our play of killing Ragavan was a good play after all. So now we have 4 blockers. We can even kill some cats if my opponent attacks. I will press F6, I have nothing. This Static Prison can pay 1 more energy to keep my Narcomoeba. Oh no, my opponent wants to have energy. Oh, my opponent is... Each opponent chooses an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker, and then sacrifice the rest. Okay, my opponent had lethal because Ajani can just a -4 here. So I'll choose Prize Amalgam. Done. And now my opponent has lethal anyways. I forgot about Ajani's ultimate. I was focused on the battlefield, but Ajani had lethal. That's why Orim's Chant was so good. Okay, let's go to our game tree. This was close. This was close, and we had many great plays in that game. No changes. I think we have it. Lightning Axe being an instant is super good because my opponent can have Orim's Chant, and then we can kill something in response. Ooh. Okay, let's think here. Lightning Axe on turn 1 is so good, but we don't have 2 lands and we have a useless Creeping Chill here. I think this is a mulligan, unfortunately. Okay, good cards, but not a good sequence. Let's see what my opponent is doing. They are also going to 6. I can start with Coliseum and Otherworldly Gaze to hit our second land. And then this second land should be a red. On turn 2, we kill something, discarding Stinkweed Imp. This is still so slow. Let's go to 5. Okay, this is our better hand so far. Let's keep it. Bloodghast and 1 fetch land can go back. My opponent kept... Oh, my opponent also went to 5 cards. So we are in the same page. This is it, guys. This is the moment to prove our deck. I think that at this point the deck is already proven. The deck proved itself. Dredge is a contender on Modern. But I would love to win this last matchup. So my opponent kept 5 cards. I don't think I want to shuffle those cards immediately. So let's play Mana Confluence. Put back, I mean. Let's play Mana Confluence here just to not shuffle the cards that we don't want. Okay, my opponent didn't play a creature. Now it's our turn. Cathartic Reunion, great. So now we can do our thing without giving any suspicious to our opponent. We'll grab Steam Vents, untapped. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have something weird like Fairy Macabre or Surgical Extraction. Okay, it's working. Dredge 3. Dredge 3 again. We have an Ox there. And Dredge 5. Great. Ox and Conflagrate for next turn. Narcomoeba and Prize Amalgam for this turn. Or even Lightning Axe and Life from the Loam. We feel this is better. We have so many good options here. This was a nice turn 2 after a mulligan to 5. My opponent didn't have a play on turn 1. They will probably go for Elegant Parlor. Elegant. Decadence. Attack elegant. Yeah, Static Prison is not good enough. My opponent knows it. Maybe they want creatures or lands or both. They play Marsh Flats and that's it. Very suspicious. No creature? Just because they are seeing Conflagrate there? Yeah, Conflagrate is nasty. Now my opponent will live in fear, but we also have Ox. If they have Thraben Charm or some way to get rid of our graveyard, they should do this now. We don't have Dredgers, so I could cast Otherworldly Gaze But I think we are fine here because I think Life from the Loam is just better this turn. Oh, unfortunately we did draw Crypt. Let's attack first. I'm not sure if I want to cast Ox of Aglonans here. I fear that my opponent has something else. Let's see. They have at least Lightning Bolt in their hand. No? Okay, if my opponent had Throbbing Charm, they would already use it, right? So I'll grab some lands here instead of going for Ox immediately. Let's see if now they have something. No? Okay, so I'll play Mana Confluence. Bloodghast enters the battlefield, and we are good. Oh, now my opponent will answer? Oh, so they have something. They have a Throbbing Charm. I knew it. I knew it! Okay, so no Bloodghast for us, unfortunately. And it's fine. I could play a Flooded Strand instead, but okay, Guide of Souls. But I think it would be better to have access to all of our colors of mana. Okay, what else now? Do I kill Guide of Souls or Assault Pride? My opponent doesn't have any energy yet. Maybe we want they to stay like this, right? Which one is better to kill this turn? I'm not sure, but I think we want to kill Guide of Souls instead of the Assault Pride. Usually I want to kill the Pride, but now that my opponent doesn't have any energy, I think we should kill Guide of Souls instead. So let's discard Sync with Imp. And now my opponent has a 1/1 first strike lifelink, but they are pretty distant from Ascend. And we will Dredge 5. Okay, Wonder is a great magic card. Have I ever said that before? We have Breeding Pool there. Life from the Loam here. We still have Steam Vents in our deck? We do. So let's grab Steam Vents here. Untapped. Now I'll cast Otherworldly Gaze in response to this trigger. Okay, now we have better Dredgers. I am doing this just to not waste my only Cephalic Elysium, but now I have Cephalic Elysiums for days. Let's grab 2 more and Breeding Pool. That's fine. We are down to 9. And I will attack my opponent only with Narcomoeba. They may have removal spells for my Prized Amalgam, right? So let's attack with everyone. That's fine. If my opponent attacks me back, I'm fine with it. So I press F6 here. Just a Goblin Bombardment. That's okay. And now we'll Dredge 4. Okay. Narcomoeba enters. We have a Creeping Chill in our hand. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, almost lethal. Let's crack Cephalic Elysium. Maybe we'll hit a Conflagrate for lethal damage. Dredge 4. We Dredge 3. Creeping Chill is great. And we Dredge 3. No Conflagrate, but that's okay. We discard you, and you. You attack our opponent. Let's see if my opponent wants to trade the cat token for Bloodghast. No, they don't. Now what? I could play Sync with Imp as a blocker here. I'll pay 2 life to do that. But I think it is worth it, right? Going to 9, but having an extra blocker here since my opponent has 2 creatures. And let's pass a turn. My opponent maybe has Flage or maybe the One Ring in their hand. A Journey. So my opponent wants to flip a Journey this turn. So Sync with Imp is a good blocker because I can block Assault Pride. If I Journey deals damage to Sync with Imp, they cannot win the game this turn. And we can win on our own turn, I think. Okay, my opponent is immediately flipping a Journey, dealing 1 damage to us. We are down to 8. My opponent will deal 3 damage to something to us. We are down to 5. My opponent will attack. They will. We will block. If we don't block, we lose the game. We will block both creatures. That's why I did cast a Sync with Imp. Okay, my opponent is dealing damage to my Sync with Imp because they don't want to lose Assault Pride. Now they gain 1 more creature. They can deal 3 damage to us. That's not enough, and we won! We won, guys. Another 4-1 result. As we did in Legacy. I'm not sure if you watched, but if you remember our matches from the Tier 1 Legacy series, we also had many 4-1s in a row at the end of that series. So yeah, Dredge is great in Modern. Unfortunately, no trophy this time, but the deck is absolutely fantastic. With Altanak, without Altanak, we have great results. We only lost a single battle here. It was a difficult battle because Said's name is so good against Altanak is so good against Blue-Black Temple. It was a close one. We'll get a trophy soon. Let's talk a little bit about our deck and let's wrap up and see if there is something new to be digged about our deck, to be discovered about it. So guys, after all of those matches, I have one thing to say, and that is something that I will not take back. Dredge in Modern is amazing, and it is super well positioned finally after the bans, after Nadu, after even Grief. I'm not sure if Grief was that important to keep Dredge from being great, but now I feel like Dredge is one of the best contenders of the format. I played 5 Modern leagues, 5 or 6 here, including our league that we played with that deck that won the Modern Challenge, and we only had positive results. We choose for ones, 3 choose. So Dredge is great, and you just should decide what to play in your deck in your specific metagame. If you're playing online, you probably want to have a 4-color build. That's my opinion, my humble opinion, because sometimes 3-color builds or Grixis builds without Loam, sometimes they are super all in, and after turn 3 you don't have any plans, you just want to hope for the best. and everyone in Modern has a good approach to turn 3, 4, and sometimes even turn 5. So if you just try to win on turn 2 or even on turn 3 with digging only 20 or 25 cards in your dredging, this probably is not enough to win games of Magic anymore. Sometimes you do, so sometimes you just mulligan to 4 until having Cathartic Reunion. This reunion will give you 3 Prize Amalgams, 2 Narcos, and 2 Creeping Chills, and it will be enough to win the game on turn 3. But usually this will not happen that easily, and that's why I think it's important to have a plan for turns 3, 4, and later on. And this is why Life from the Loam is excellent. Many Eldrazi decks can also blow up your lands, and Life from the Loam can hold Eldrazi decks a little bit more, in my opinion. It's not because we are a Life from the Loam deck that we necessarily need utility lands. Besides Cephalic Elysium, I'm not sure if we really want cards like Boseiju or others. I tested them in the past, and I'm not sure if we really want those. And I'm not sure if we also want the same sideboard cards every time. For example, in our last 2 leagues, I had 3 dedicated cards to Storm, and I didn't face a single one. And when I took cards from Storm from my sideboard, then we did meet Storm deck. So you just need to adjust your sideboard for what you see in your local metagame. And if this is a wide metagame, like online, you just want to guess. It's good to have some answers to Leyline, but almost anyone plays with Leyline these days. Lightning Axe is one of my amazing cards in my sideboard. I'm super attached to this Axe, which is weird because you want to throw it, right? But I really like Lightning Axe in this metagame. It is good against Zoo decks and energy decks, everyone that deploys difficult cards, creature cards to play against. And you can choose it between Leyline of the Void or Leyline of Sanctity. If you want to have Magebane Lizard or maybe Damping Sphere here in its place, if you want to bounce spells instead of Pick Your Poison. But I think this is pretty solved as the right numbers of the deck. You probably want 18 lands, you probably want 12 enablers. If you will prioritize turn 1 enablers or turn 2 enablers, it's your choice. You probably want 12 dredgers, but maybe 11 in some cases. You probably want at least 12 creatures that can come back from your graveyard. And you will just mix this choosing your colors of preference. I think Loam is the glue that ties the deck together. But if you don't like Loam, if you want to be more aggressive, you can just change this for Dark Blast and go to town. I know everyone thinks Dark Blast is super well positioned, but I am not playing with Dark Blast, and I almost always win against energy and creature decks because sometimes your opponents just have a Guide of Souls on turn 1, and you don't have a way to deal with it. And sometimes you don't have Dark Blast in your starting hand, and you will not just go after the Dark Blast because it will not always be a game-winning play. That's why I like Lightning Axe so much. You hit something, and then you discard something even better than Dark Blast to your grave. Guys, I'm digging it. I think Modern Dredge is really good right now. I enjoyed this series a lot. I hope you also did. So please click the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below if you really enjoyed this series, and if you want to share some thoughts about this creating process. I would appreciate that. And see you soon on our next video. Bye.